You black women and you black men. Yakanan brought it out on the video, man. So, like I said, like Elder Tahar said, we don't give a damn about the 2/3. We're like Ezra, 2nd Ezra 8 and 50, where the Lord told Ezra, seek out the glory for such as be like unto thee. That's a cold cut. Men in the elect, man, brothers that the Lord gave his name to. Not the so-called white man and other nations, and the hell is not the 2/3 of Israel, man. You had something?
1 John 2 and 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
So that proves that you're not supposed to love the white man, like this guy, Bubble-Eyed Blackfish, teaching you that some white people are going to be saved, so you got to love everybody. Or don't listen to these other idiots out here. Don't listen to your mother and father that taught you God love everybody. It said love not the world. That means these so-called crackers out here, these other nations, and the 2/3 of these dumb bubblehead Negroes and Hispanics and Indians.
Yeah, because we don't have time to bend over and show you scriptures and try to prove to you that the white man's a devil. If you can't get it, well, brother, you got to leave that guy alone. You got to step away from that guy. All right? You can't get a woman and make sure you teach your wife about being a... You don't got to teach her a damn thing, man.
That's right.
All right? Now, if she's open to it, you can teach her. If she's open to it. And I have yet to meet a woman that was open to this, man. They'll pretend like they're open to it, but they really ain't into this, man.
That's right.
It's not for them.
Back in Psalms 10 and 14. Thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief and spite, to requite it with thine hand. The poor committed themselves unto thee, thou art the helper of the fatherless. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness till thou find none. The Lord is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. Lord, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare their heart. Thou wilt cause thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress.
Yeah, the man of the earth is talking about the white man who has oppressed us. And he's not going to oppress us anymore. Because we're going to start to oppress him.
That's right, man. Put hell on his ass, man.
Okay, it's payback time. You want to know what time it is? It's payback time. Go ahead.
Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end of dealing treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
Yeah, like for example, somebody grabbed the mic, whatever precept you got on to bring out something.
That's right, man. See, the so-called white man did all this. He's the one that came over here and stole this land away from Native American people, so-called Native American people. Okay? Gave us smallpox, gave us disease, gave us rock gut liquor to drink, and he gave us the edge of his lance, man. Okay? Gave us the bullets and the muskets out of his guns, shot us down, killed our people without a cause, then stuck us on reservations, okay? Then he brought the Negroes over here to build up the land that he stole. We didn't do nothing to the white man. The white man came over here and unjustly put hands on us, man, and destroyed our people. So that's what the scripture's talking about. Esau did this, and woe means destruction. Meaning that's what Esau gonna get. He gonna get a foot up his ass. By who? Well, primarily by the Lord, Yahweh Shai. But the Lord said he gonna use us, the Israelites, to do it.
That's right. This is the book of Revelation 13, 9 and 10. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear.
That means if you have the understanding. Everybody got ears on their head unless somebody chopped them off your ass. But other than that, it's talking about understanding. The ears mean if you have the mind to understand.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
That's blunt. That's self-explanatory, man. We don't got to sit down and, like Nate, and give you some big fantastical breakdown. You know? It's blunt, man. Who led the Israelites into captivity? Who came over here and stole the land from Indian people? And then you put the Indians, you put the natives, you put us in captivity too, in slavery, man.
Matter of fact, when Christopher Columbus came to this side of the world, he sent 500 Taino and Arawak Indians back to Spain as slaves, because that was the beginning of their slavery among the so-called Latin tribes and the Native American Indian tribes.
That's right, and that's Ephraim. That's Ephraim and Simeon and Manasseh. The Taínos and the Arawaks that inhabited the Caribbean were the tribes of Ephraim, Manasseh, and Simeon. Then the devils came over here to the mainland, and they enslaved a lot of the Gadites or the Native Americans that were here. Before the Negro slave trade, it was the Native Americans. We were part of the first slave trade. But the thing was, the natives, we didn't make good slaves. We didn't live long in slavery, and we were it was too much trouble. Because the tribes would always rebel and escape. It was too much trouble to make the Native Americans and the slaves. So they said we had to go and get the Negroes. They make better slaves. Okay, it was a plan. You had a precept, Gabar?
Yep. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
So it's well documented that you put the Negroes and the Native Americans into slavery. So that means you so-called white people are going into captivity. Slavery, that's what it is, man, for you. That's your future. Slavery, man. Slavery, where and when. Real soon, in the kingdom of heaven. What's going to be the kingdom of heaven? The kingdom of heaven is what's going to be established on earth when the Lord raises up the nation of Israel to put you in captivity, man. It's going to be right here on the earth for 1,000 years according to the scriptures, man. That was it.
Yeah, I want to read this here. I want to read about the Emancipation Proclamation. All right, this was, by the way, this was an executive order. This was an executive order by the president at that time, President Abraham Lincoln. And we all heard about it, and we were all taught about it in school. And basically, they'll read about it. They'll read about this proclamation, and they'll tell you that it meant that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln never freed the slaves. I'm going to prove it to you based upon the word itself. Because if he actually freed the slaves, he would call it the proclamation to free the slaves. Wouldn't he call it that? But you Negroes, you don't look up words, man. All right, here it is. It says the Emancipation Proclamation was an executive order issued by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863, because the slaves were ultimately so-called free in 1865. But the proclamation came about in 1863 as a war measure during the American Civil War. To all segments of the executive branch, including the Army and Navy of the United States, it proclaimed the freedom of slaves in the 10 states that were still in rebellion. So what did that mean? There were states that wasn't in rebellion that they let them keep their slaves. And they, in fact, like I said, I'm going to say it again, they never freed the slaves. They emancipated the slaves. All right? It said it proclaimed the freedom of slaves in the 10 states that were still in rebellion, thus applying to 3.1 million of the 4 million slaves in the 4 million slaves, estimated 4 million slaves in the United States at that time, U.S. at the time. The proclamation was based on the president's constitutional authority as commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Now I'm going to look up this word emancipate, right? From the term Emancipation Proclamation. It says emancipate. Definition of emancipate: to free from restraint, control, or power of another, especially to free from bondage. That's bullshit. 2, to release from paternal care and responsibility and make sui juris. Sui juris means self-right, from the Latin. 3, to free from any controlling influence as traditional mores and or beliefs. Now the way to understand the meaning of words, there's a thing called etymology, which means the study of words or the study of root words. Where do these actual words come from?